one zone, or the administration, or the tax increment effect. Technically, on the basis of public comment, the zone area would change. But what we've got to do is to work on the idea of where the roads are so that we can adequately define in the newspaper notice those roads, and then also if you could give me an idea of, I'm assuming that y'all would,
We probably need to give the attorney a broad deal as far as the determining center line to whatever, because of our roads, some of them don't. He may want to look at going from Fence Road to something like, to,
We talked about that, but the feel, while you were out, because I thought that was a good idea, but the feeling was that it would be easier for the appraisal district if they used the center line. And
Yes,
so
it's no-
therefore, what he's talking about a 200-foot wide slot. And so even on my 417, which has the widest right of way of any county road I'm aware of, you still at that point would have, 30 foot that would be covered within it.
or I was thinking that some of them about 50 feet wide, so.
Yeah, that's exactly.
the fence lines, difficult from the aerial GIS photographs to determine fence lines, whereas center lines are more GIS.
I wouldn't say any of our committees didn't have any, but I got some, I've seen some roads where the center of the road not all easy to distinguish.
Well, and I've got a couple where the road is laid is not in the center. It's a little more to one direction than it is the other, not many. Do we need to vote on the fact that we are going to do 3 zones?
Okay. I think you need to say special things by a recorded vote today, and I prepared an order.
Okay.
And the, order, let me pass, I've got copies for each
You attorneys write too much.
of you. We do.
You too.
Does this need to be laid into the record?
Yes, sir. When you get to the point where somebody makes a motion that it be approved, the front part of it is, you've seen our orders before, our proposed orders. That preamble part up there talks about declaring your intent to consider the creation of one or more county energy transportation reinvestment zone and all related administrative and procedural matters. I think that's all you need to say at this time. When you read the first page paragraph, you'll see the discussion of the authority, and that first big paragraph, a third from the bottom, or next, where it talks about text dot.
Section 18, pursuant to Article 5, Section 18.
Where it says, whereas the Commissioners Court has initiated and desires to complete such a project.
Right?
You talk about that if you get the grant funding, it will have a significant positive and beneficial effect on the public road system in your county and for the people of your county. And that all of the public benefits with or resulting from the project shall be obtained or substantially achieved through seeing this thing through and successfully obtaining the award and actually doing the work on the roads. I think that kind of is abundantly clear in terms of why you're doing it, but I felt it would be important for the court as a body, if you thought it was instructed to do so, to say so, why you're doing it, to explain the public purposes. And then when you get down to the top of the second page, all are determining and finding that all the public notice, hearing, administrative, and procedural matters required by the law, you're gonna follow. It's kind of a basic concept, but I know you do it anyway, but we say it. And then when you get to the actual merits of what you're doing, number 3 that I think is important today. This is your declaration of intent to see the project through, and now you're gonna hold a public hearing. I left the date blank and the time blank with the purpose, proposed creation of one or more county energy transportation reinvestment zones. Okay? Now, if this order is approved, then the next thing you need to do is just talk and kind of direct staff to how you kind of want the thing drawn up from a proposal standpoint for the public notice. And we will do it. We will do it the way you suggest. Instructed, I should say.
Sounds good to
And
me.
we'll work, we'll work with the county judge's office, once we get that news from Judge Quinney, that'll be today. Because I set aside the time for me
Okay.
and the staff to get after it and to have a document that's acceptable for your signature in terms of public notice, so we can hit 3 tasks. Get it in the newspaper, post it on your website, and post it at the usual place in the courthouse where you post commissioners' court agendas. Now, the statutes don't say anything about posting on a website or posting at your physical courthouse location, but it's just best practice procedure says do it.
Okay. We need to vote on it, then read it into the record, or?
Yes, sir. If it meets with your approval, and then the blank there, I guess would be 27 December at
9:30
9 a.m.
Jones said 9:30.
is fine for me. 27th at 9:30?
You think 9:30?
I mean, we'll be recorded, sorry, 9.
9:30.
That's a Friday
Oh, that's
after
right.
Christmas.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because we'll have some other business to deal with. So the meeting's at 9:30 and the court will be at 9. Okay, I'm with you.
Okay.
Okay, and I missed the part where something was said about posting, and I walked in through the door. Regular posting, and this goes with it. Somewhere I heard
We
you.
will give you a public notice form executed by the county judge and dated for regular posting at the courthouse location,
Okay,
the place,
all right,
plus website,
plus website.
Website.
plus newspaper, and we'll handle the newspaper.
Okay, all right, and I'll
Don't
do
put it on
that.
website.
Sorry.
Okay,
No problem.
anyone else want to read this?
You want me to read it for you? Either way.
It's pretty big print, Judge.
An order of the Commissioners Court of Wilson County pursuant to its pending project to obtain grant funding from the Texas Department of Transportation to alleviate the degradation caused to the public roads, bridges, and culverts by the exploration, development, or production of oil and gas, declaring intent to consider the creation of one or more county energy transportation reinvestment zones and all related administrative and procedural matters. Number 2, declaring intent to conduct a public hearing on the proposed creation of one or more of said zones pursuant to said project. Number 3, directing the initiation and completion of the required public notice to predicate said project in public hearing. And 4, establishing an effective date in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Whereas Wilson County, Texas is a county of the state of Texas, having been duly created and organized under the Constitution and laws of Texas. And further, the Wilson County Commissioners Court is the governing body of said county. And whereas pursuant to Article 5, Section 18 of the Texas Constitution, Senate Bill 1747, enacted in 2013 by the Texas Legislature, Chapters 222 and Chapter 256 of the Texas Transportation Code, and other authority, the county may conduct a project to obtain grant funding from the Texas Department of Transportation to alleviate degradation caused to public roads, bridges, and culverts by the exploration, development, and production of oil and gas, including the acquisition of grant funds for the planning, design, construction, reconstruction, and maintenance, repair, and aforesaid transportation infrastructure. And whereas the Commissioners Court has initiated and desires to complete such a project as authorized by the aforesaid authority in order to obtain grant funding from TxDOT for the aforesaid purposes project, and further pursuant to the pending project, the Commissioners Court finds and determines that the acquisition of the grant funding from TxDOT funding the project and the successful implementation of the project resulting in the planning, design, construction, reconstruction, and maintenance, repair, or the aforesaid transportation infrastructure through grant funding will have a significant positive and beneficial effect to the public road system of the county and for the people of the county. And two, all public benefits associated with it or resulting from the project as herein described shall be obtained and substantially achieved through the county's initiative and successful completion of project. And whereas the project as authorized by the aforesaid authority requires certain administrative and procedural matters to be initiated and completed prior to or after the submission to TxDOT of the county's grant funding application, including but not limited to, one, the creation, implementation, administration, and management, and of one or more county energy transportation reinvestment zones. Two, the creation of the advisory board to advise the county on the establishment, administration, and expenditures of the zone. And three, the creation, implementation, administration, and management of an ad valorem tax increment account. And four, certain public notice and hearing requirements to properly predicate the submission of the county's grant funding application to TxDOT for the project. And whereas the Commissioners Court finds and determines that all public notice, hearings, administration, and procedural matters required by law shall be timely initiated and completed regarding the project. Now therefore be it resolved and ordered that the Wilson County Commissioners Court, for and on behalf of the said county and the public interest, as follows. One, singular nouns and pronouns shall include the plural, and the masculine gender shall include the feminine gender where necessary for a correct meaning of this order. Two, all statements made in the caption, preamble, and preliminary recitals of this order are true, correct, and incorporated by reference for all purposes. Three, regarding the county's project to obtain grant funding from TxDOT and pursuant to the aforesaid authority, the Commissioners Court declares its intent to conduct a public hearing on December 27, 2013 at 9:30 a.m. at a public meeting of the Commissioners Court regarding the proposed creation of one or more county energy transportation reinvestment zones in the county. The county judge is directed and authorized to timely initiate and complete all public notice, administrative, and procedural issues required by law to properly predicate an aforesaid public hearing regarding the project, including the signing and execution of any and all documents necessary or advisable to properly accomplish those tasks. The county staff and legal counsel are directed and authorized to assist the county judge regarding the timely and successful accomplishment of those tasks. This order shall take effect immediately from and after its passage. Item 6 is all prior acts of the county, including its elected officials, appointed officials, officers, employees, agents, attorneys, and representatives are hereby ratified, confirmed, and approved regarding the project and the matters described in this order. Item 7 is the matter was considered, ordered, adopted, and approved at a meeting here in compliance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, considered, ordered, and adopted, and approved on this 16th day of December 2013.
No.
Motion? Commissioner Fowler, second, Commissioner Wiley, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Our court members, are the roads noted on the big map, the roads to be considered for possible inclusion in one or more county energy transportation reinvestment zones?
All the roads for precinct 4 are. I'll speak to mine.
All mine are.
And precinct 3 is not here, but he only had one. You know,
And that's
it
at
is
Coffin
there.
Road?
I'll speak on his behalf.
Yes, sir. Okay, we will work to predicate the public hearing that you now scheduled for 27 December at 9:30.
You'll get on the language for the website, to post it on our website.
Yes, sir, it'll be a copy of that document.
Okay.
Once everybody signs it and it's attested by the county clerk, signs and dates and attested by the county clerk, a copy of it will be there. And
Give
then we
her a
will,
copy, Trish.
Okay.
and also, once we get the public notice drawn up, correctly, we need to submit it to you for your signature and date. And that also, we'll get that.
Okay.
too.
Anything else?
Did we do 8 while
No,
I was
we
gone?
haven't gone.
No, we have more things on
And
the
nine.
agenda.
But, we'll finish that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Item 8, Thomas L. Dubnick, County Auditor, discuss take action on amending the budget to cover legal fees, tax dot grant. Oh, excuse me.
What's it?
Put this on.
That's kind of misworded, but it's,
It was put on by the auditor's office, and that is their exact language.
Okay.
discuss the take action on.
Think we, that's the one that we have discussed, right?
Well, we discussed it, and Verna had indicated that if we were going to do the legal fees through the budget, not through precinct budgets, that we would have to amend the budget, is what she said that day. And of course, we didn't have it on the agenda to amend it. I assume that's why it's here, assuming that we want to go forward with that.
We had talked about taking the money out of tax pool, because as long as we keep 25% tax pool, which we're way over that, my understanding is, Jan, tell me if I'm wrong, that we can move monies that with the commissioner's court approves it.
But, why, we're taking it out of the tax pool and the legal fees supposed to come out of the precincts? You know?
This would, again, I'll express my own opinion, like I did last time. This for the legal fee, because it's all gonna benefit everybody in the county. You know, the 20% was gonna come out of the precinct, but the legal fee to do the whole project and do all the, for the public hearing.
But still, we're not, I don't think it's right from taking it out of tax pool, I mean, what's the total amount? That's gonna be like 27,000.
That's the most.
Is that, Chuck, Kimbrel, is that correct? Is it gonna be only 27.5, now we got
27.5.
multiple zones, or will it be higher?
That's the
We-
max.
We don't think it's gonna be, we had to predict something, and so
Yeah.
we put a cap on it. We
Because
hope
we
that-
have a contract with the attorneys, but this is outside the law of the
Right.
contract. so
It's-
that's
it's
why we
a-
have to vote on this.
higher rate, public finance type thing. Now, the work I've done, once I was asked to do it, and today, is the lower rate. But, again, we've estimated probably 50 hours of service hours for this type of a project. It may not be that much. Whatever it is, if it's less than that, is the number. but we wanted to make sure that you saw that there was a high water mark to give you some certainty on it. The idea of it being 100 hours, in my judgment, would be very unusual, highly unusual, given these facts. It's like 50 hours.
I believe we discussed basically that it would come from the budget of the commissioners and that anything that came from it would be those commissioners' benefit. I think that's the way it's going.
That's where we left it.
Yes, sir. That's what my notes.
So are we gonna divide it equally between the three precincts that are participating? Is that how we do it? We're gonna do it by road mileage, or what, what are we gonna do? Well, I'm curious, because you've got, Ricky has one road.
One road.
Well, there'll be a amount put on those, when you build a TxDOT or, car, everything, each road will be broken down to what the amount is on that road.
The dollar amount? Yes.
Well, prorated to whatever you receive back from TxDOT. If you, in other words, if you get.
Well, but his bill will probably come due before we get to that.
But.
I'm just curious.
Well, he only got the one road, and this is.
As far as I'm concerned,
If it was me, and it's not, Commissioners 2 and 4 would split it, and then whenever you get the monies, you settle up, prorate it out to whoever. If Ricky gets a certain amount for his, then you do it, but it's not me.
and from a standpoint, you don't know that Ricky's would even qualify, it might. I don't know for sure, depending on how we do it. I may not have one to qualify. We may get through this and.
But there again, if, say, Commissioner 2 gets all of the funds, if yours doesn't qualify, then,
The monies would be transferred back over to.
well, the expense come out of what his, plus, he'd be getting the benefit of it, That's why I was like.
Well, I think, yeah, that might be fair. You concur?
No, that's fine, man. We're gonna do it that way.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Does that sound all right?
Well, it's close.
He's not gonna say he gets paid.
He says, "Can I get paid?"
Right. As long as I keep all the advertising taxes.
Well, we're breaking it up into different groups, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the, what do you do?
It will, 2 and 4 pay the up front attorney fees. And it'll be, prorated as to the amount of money received to the precincts, whether between 2, 4, and 3.
Do we know?
That's fair.
And
And
then
if Ricky gets some, and he
He
can
pay
pay
a
some small,
prorated
and
amount on what he gets.
then we'll just break it up based on how much
Has
money.
anybody checked with the appraisal office yet to see if we're gonna be charged for that? We may need to check with them also.
Well, that's something we'll have to deal with at the point we have to go.
Anything else on that? Okay, going on item 9, Leanne, who
I
checked in?
didn't get a first and a second yet.
First and second on.
Motion to pay the attorneys out of the
Oh, we didn't do,
prorated amount.
we didn't do that with the, we did the first and second on, but there was the
Oh,
formula
okay.
that we're gonna use, so go back and, the first was Paul, and the second was Commissioner Wiley and everybody, and that amendment to your motion and second, Stan?
And if we can't get Albert to pay it, then I guess we're gonna have to.
He wanted, he offered to pay for it.
I know he did.
I just paid that.
Okay. Item 9, Hotech EMC, discuss and take action on the resolution of the Wilson County of Wilson authorizing the filing of a grant application with the Alamo Area Council of Governments.
Okay, the solid waste grant program, for 2014-15 has opened up, and we have to have grant applications submitted by the 20th. And I've been working with Commissioners Wiley and Commissioner File, And, we would like to put in a grant application for, 2 cargo trailers. One would be used to collect and store electronics, and the other one would be used to collect and store tires. And these trailers would then be taken to another collector, that in turn would take them to a recycler. And, if we would get funded with these projects and come out ahead, we would, we wouldn't be paying a vendor at our, collection events to come and stage.
Do the
and,
closed-in trailers,
dispose of-
Yes.
Yeah, cargo, yeah, kind of like the,
vans?
They're 24 foot,
commodities trailer,
aren't they 24 foot?
24-foot cargo space.
Yeah, the cargo space.
So you, those tire ones will be empty pretty regularly.
Yeah, they will. It's not quite the same, but we have the opportunity to do that at no charge. You know, we don't not have to pay anything for the tires. And so that would be,
Comments?
And I've got we need to read the resolution too.
I think that's covered.
They need a resolution authorizing the filing of it with them, so.
That's a resolution authorizing the filing of the trailers that's mentioned by Ms. Hochat. Commissioner Gomez, Commissioner Wiley, all in favor?
Uh,
With another
go ahead, Jan.
Okay, I have a question before y'all disband, back to, item number 5. Now, y'all voted on it to be up to the department head to let the people off on those days. If they have time off, well, it's up to the department head to decide.
We're not giving them another holiday, it's
Right.
whatever they've earned, and
Right.
if the department head chooses to close their department that day, if everybody's
Got time,
Got
got
time.
time.
but if they don't have time, then they work. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Judge, we don't have anything on here to
adjourned.
adjourn. So we're just gonna stay here forever.
Sorry,
Are you in violation of the Open Meetings Act if you adjourn?
Yeah, we can do it.
Could be.
You
You also have to sign the agenda.
Okay.
There's a little bit more treatment.
But it's just the control cases.
Maybe this one. Can't adjourn, well, that's
Well,
very good.
we got another meeting starting at 11:30.
Is it 11:30 or
11:45.
11:45. Why don't I adjourn this meeting and then, let me run get some papers and go ahead and swear you in. That be all right? We
Oh,
adjourn.
he's sworn in. Yes, we're, yeah,
It's, the district judge or?
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, they sent some papers, and
Oh,
somebody
some
sent
other
some,
paper?
there's some swearing in papers in there that had
Oh,
his
okay,
name on them.
but no, Dawn prepared him and we gave him that thing.
Okay.
You were gone, and he needed to get to the bank.
Judge, it's
So
my
he's sworn
opinion,
in.
That's great.
Oh, okay.
it is my opinion that you can't swear at an auditor too much.
So you can take him back there.
I didn't turn this one.